Good morning, folks. This is Mr. Dan coming to you from the Landscape Design Classroom, and today we're going to talk about what is urban horticulture. Now, the main idea here, what role does urban horticulture play in cities and towns? So most Americans live in or near cities and towns. So you see a lot in the news about people in cities, people in rural communities, and all the issues facing those individuals these days and how some are represented and whatnot. So if we take a look at it, about 93% of people in the United States live in or around a city. So that would be in the city directly or in the suburbs around it, with about 6.3% living in rural communities, which would be more like out in the country. So agriculture takes place in rural and urban communities. So on the bottom left, we have rural communities, typically farmland out in the country. And on the right here, we have cities and towns, something you would see here on the right. Now, neighborhoods around the city would also be included in cities and towns. So what is urban horticulture? Urban, cities and towns, horticulture, which is the art and science of cultivating flowers, fruits, vegetables, or ornamental plants. And when you bring those together, it's the art and science of cultivating flowers, fruits, vegetables, or ornamental plants in cities or towns. So the City Beautiful movement, the goal is to make cities more beautiful to improve social problems. As a 1901 plan for Washington, D.C., which includes the mall at the core of a group of buildings, kind of like you would see in Central Park in New York as well. So offering a park setting or some kind of like natural setting for people to go into, because once you get a ton of tall buildings and whatnot, it kind of becomes mundane after a while. And then the mall in itself, it's pictured here, it stretches from the U.S. Capitol building to the Washington Memorial. So we have a really nice space of land right there that all kinds of different activities take place, recreational activities, even fairs in the park and whatnot. The Tree City USA, managing trees in urban areas. It's sponsored by the Arbor Day Foundation, USDA, and National Association of State Foresters. And it involves over 3,500 communities. So who does urban horticulture? Almost everybody. This is governments, parks, athletic fields, community gardens, businesses, plant and produce cells, property landscaping, homeowners, tending to their lawns, trees, gardens, and flower beds, and then apartment dwellers, containing plants or gardens, house plants, and cut flowers. So when does it take place? All year long. So public parks and trails, private landscape maintenance and indoor houseplants, different business efforts, hydroponic produce, nurseries, and florists. So where does it take place? Here's some public examples. Nice park we have here on the right. Zoning commissions and planning boards, parks and recreation areas, walking trails and green spaces, arboretums, formal gardens, and botanic gardens. And some more private efforts would be homeowners mowing their own grass, pruning trees, and planting flowers. Businesses landscape their grounds and provide indoor plants. Community gardens are shared by many. And then volunteers plant and maintain public flower beds, parks, and other spaces. So why is it important? Environmental benefits. So it provides a habitat for wildlife, reduced air pollution, lower surface temperatures, soaking up and filtering rainfall, reduced erosion, flooding, and water pollution, and then health benefits. So better mental health, makes you feel good having a park to go to. Once you have like those hard edges of buildings and just like the building faces all the time with no greenery, it just kind of gives you that mindset of there's not really much else around. So adding some green in there is never a bad thing. Better physical health, more physical activity and exercise, and economic benefits, reduced automobile use and lower transportation costs. Shade from trees lowers air conditioning costs. So if you have a tall tree is providing a lot of shade on a building. That's actually going to save you money over time with your air conditioning costs. Fresh produce for city residents, and some more benefits: sustainability, managing resources so they will not be used up or permanently damaged. Biodiversity, short of biological diversity, the variety of living things in an ecosystem. So the more plant life you bring in, the more living things that come in. So you have more bugs, you might have more animals, all that kind of stuff. And then sense of beauty, sense of peace and beauty. So how do you learn more? You can check out different land grant institutions through the USDA. This is established by the federal government to promote agriculture, mechanic arts education, research, extension, and advice targeted to local growing conditions. So more information sources. The Master Gardener Program, extension agents provide training. Volunteers give back by teaching others. Books and magazines, web resources, and the bottom line here, plants and trees in urban green spaces offer many environmental, health, and economic benefits. The extension system and the Master Gardener Program are just two of the ways to learn more about urban horticulture. So that is the end of my presentation. Urban horticulture is immensely important because it provides greenery around the city. So make sure you take a look back through to answer questions on your worksheet and to do your vocabulary. But if you have any questions at all, you can contact me down here in the landscape design classroom. Have a great day, folks, and thanks for listening.